I have to eat food that's soft. I had surgery on my jaw about 2.5 years ago, and this works really well as a breakfast or even as a dessert. I have it sometimes as a dessert at the end of the night. It's got good fiber and it's chocolate. Everybody loves chocolate. You're gonna need 2 pots. For pot number 1, you're gonna need coconut milk, oats, almond butter, vanilla, cinnamon, maple syrup, and salt. For the second pot, you're gonna need milk. Because she's vegan, she uses plant milk. I say use whatever milk you have on hand. Maple syrup, vanilla, cocoa powder. For spices, you'll need cinnamon, turmeric, ground ginger, and a pinch of pepper. Everything comes together really quick once you have all the ingredients, so it's easier to set them all out ahead of time. We need 2/3 cup of coconut milk, a 1/2 cup of oats, and I'm not a big fan of coconut milk. I really don't like the flavor, but the chocolate part of the recipe that goes over it makes it so that I don't taste the coconut flavor from the coconut milk. And again, you could probably use regular milk for that. You need a tablespoon of almond butter, a tablespoon of maple syrup, and maple syrup is just the sweetener in the recipe. If you want to use regular sugar, if that's what you have, that would work just fine. A 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. Instead of measuring, I'm just going to pour in a little splash. And a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and a pinch of salt. I'm also going to guesstimate on the cinnamon, and I like cinnamon a lot, so extra wouldn't bother me at all. And stir everything together and start heating it up until the oatmeal is done. If you think regular oats are going to be too tough for you to eat, you can make oat flour, which is where you take the same amount of oats, put them in a blender until they're powdery, and that's oat flour. For the second pan, we're going to need a 1/2 cup of milk, teaspoon of maple syrup. I'm just going to pour in a glug. A 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. A tablespoon of cocoa powder. We're going to need a 1/4 teaspoon each of cinnamon and ground ginger. And a pinch of turmeric and a pinch of black pepper. There's something in the turmeric that the black pepper releases or helps. I can't think of what it is. If you know what it is, write it in the comments because it's going to drive me crazy until I remember. And turmeric can have kind of a spicy feel, and so can black pepper, but what I found when eating this is just you get kind of a slight tingle in the back of your throat from those 2 spices. But they don't overpower things. Turmeric is an anti-inflammatory. Turmeric is an anti-inflammatory. And this is a great way to put it in stuff where it's not going to be the flavor that you taste. A Tablespoon of cocoa powder is almost too much of the bitter chocolate flavor, so I put in a little less than a tablespoon, and I also might add a little bit more sweetener, like a tablespoon of sugar. If a tablespoon of sugar is too much, you can decrease the amount of sugar or decrease the amount of cocoa powder. I want to thank Pamela Anderson and her vegan cookbook called I Love You for giving me something that was more than mashed potatoes to eat.